Welcome to Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting your journey one digital footprint at a time. With me is my main man, Mike Bull. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing terrific, man. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, right now I am working with women business owners who are past the entrepreneur startup stage and are looking at the growth stage.
Where is that line? How do you define that past startup stage?
It's kind of tough, but I usually say 3 years.
Do you measure in months time, in years time, or do you measure it in sales? I mean, somebody that explodes, they start with this company, boom, all of a sudden they're at 1 million sales in 6 months.
Well, it's one, and you're exactly right. If they're doing that, then they are certainly past the startup stage. So it's a moving target. It's no fast line by any means.
So what do you do? What do you do with these women that are in this past this startup stage?
We have what we call a Construct Business Success Program, and it is a combination of one-on-one consulting, trying to help them with the business side of things, because we find most entrepreneurs love what they do and have no idea how to do the business end of things. And we combine that with group meetings also, where the women business owners talk to each other, and then we have an education component to that, where we'll have marketing people come in and talk about marketing one time, accountants come in and talk about numbers one time, and whatever else they...
So it's a technical component, there is an educational component, and also what I'm hearing is kind of a support group for the women entrepreneurs as well?
A community.
Kind of a community?
Yeah.
And so how many women entrepreneurs are part of this project?
We have just started this project, and right now have the first one going. It's about halfway through, and we started with just 5. The goal will be 8 to 10 in a group.
Is there 8 to 10 per group? That you're going to have different groups then?
It'll be a 6-month process, yes, and there will be a group starting probably every 3 months.
Is there a pattern that you see? And well, it could be women entrepreneur, and that is, of course, your dedication, your passion. But is there something that you find on entrepreneurs going into that next level that you're talking about that is common, that hinders them? Is there a mindset of these entrepreneurs that you see?
I think there's a few things. A mindset is certainly one of them, because what I found is a lot of women business owners deal in services as opposed to products, as opposed to manufacturing, distribution, and a lot of them want services, and therefore they're not really geared towards hiring. It's something they want to do themselves. They only want one person doing it. Obviously they are not looking to grow. Some who have services and want to grow, then they can, but it's hard for them to find individuals, because now, entrepreneurs like to have their control, and as soon as you grow past what you can do, that's where it gets hard. You have to give up a little control. You have to teach other people how to do what you do. You have to agree that there's a business component, and it's not all just passion and hype.
And that is very hard for an entrepreneur to do, to just give up that little control.
Yeah, it is.
How do you deal with that? How do you teach that entrepreneur to let go?
I guess that's the unique thing about my program, is that they have to want to let go before they're in the program, right? Because that's part of the definition of being past the startup, is the desire to want to do something besides just whatever you're doing.
Do you find, though, Mike, that even if I say, all right, I want to give up this control, I want to scale, I'm at that point, I recognize that I am past beyond the startup stage, and at least I verbalize it. Oh yeah, I'm going to give up control, but really deep inside, I really would not want to give up control. Do you find that?
Oh, I think that's inevitable, but once they've made the commitment, I think they start recognizing that, what that looks like. It takes time, but once you realize what giving up, I mean, it's easy to say, I'm going to give up control.
Sure,
but,
sure.
But when it actually starts happening, if they're still dedicated to that, I think sometimes it's slow. Some people do it faster. But
what did you do before you started this project?
I have owned 2 other businesses. And it's interesting because when you talk about entrepreneurs and startups, that's not the way I did it.
How did you do it?
I had a job that I hated. And I hated the boss. I hated everything about him. But there was 2 things I learned through that process. And one is you can actually buy a business that's going. And you can actually use other people's money to do it.
And that's what you did.
And that's what I did. I spent 20 years, my wife and I every week would go, oh, what can we do? What can we do? We should be in business for ourselves. What can we do? And you never come up with an idea. You never come up with a project. You never come up with something that you think is good enough. And then we found that, maybe we can find someone else who's already thought of that, because my background is business, and I figure, what you do is irrelevant. Business is business, and you can run businesses the same. And so finding one that was already going, already making money, already had cash coming in, seemed to be the right way for me.
And that's how you got it. And that's one of the businesses. You said you had 2 businesses.
Actually, that's both of them.
Oh, okay.
You get into that fact. I bought the first one. Things were going really well. I let employees do what employees need to do. We said, this is kind of easy. Maybe we should do it again. Famous last words.
Right.
And we did the same thing. We found another business that was for sale. We used other people's money. And running 2 separate businesses is pretty hard. So we ended up selling one and staying with the other is basically what we did.
Somebody told me once that it's very hard to run 2 horses with 1 ass, and that always.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's what happens, man. And so, all right. So now you have this project, and you're focused on women entrepreneurs in particular.
Yes.
Why?
3 years ago, I started doing the consulting business. And in the first 2 years, I started looking back going, okay, well, 95% of my clients have been women. 95% of them have been in business for at least 3 years and are looking to do things. And so I went, why not concentrate on women business owners who are past the startup stage? Because that is what my clients were. That's what I enjoyed. That's what I wanted.
You use the word enjoy. And so tell me what fuels that passion in you. Why do you enjoy it so much?
I enjoy it when I can actually know things and that other people don't, I guess. Because, like I said, I come from a business background. I love the business part of things, and most entrepreneurs have their passion and love what they do, and that business end is not what they do. And so I can bring that to them, and they appreciate it, and it makes life good.
What would you say to somebody that fails in their business? Somebody that is starting up, or maybe in that second stage that is failing in the business or is failed in the business, and they're like ready to give up. What would you tell them?
Well, I've actually had some of these, and that's part of what got me into this, is after they go through the startup stage and they're ready to grow 2, 3, 4 years into it, that's where they're kind of, the scale's tipping. Do I really want to do this? Can I do it? Am I being successful at it? Those are all questions, and some we have come to the decision that, what you're doing, this is all you're going to get out of it, because the market's not there, your time's not there, whatever. And sometimes you have to recognize that and say, yeah.
And so your business helps them do that. And you, oh my goodness, look at this. That's a terrible throw, my gosh, Jesus. So
that's a nice timer.
It is. And so your business helps people kind of identify themselves and come to a very honest and true evaluation?
I have to say I'm more practical, and I'm not going to hype things because, oh yeah, you just have to believe, sorry, sometimes that doesn't work.
Well, you strike me as a very straightforward, shoot from the hip kind of guy, so you're not going to sugarcoat it. You're going to tell
I
them.
try not to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you would be very honest in saying to somebody, hey, it's just not going to work out.
There's those possibilities.
There are those possibilities. Find something else to do?
Yeah.
Find another business?
I mean, not all businesses succeed, and it's not always because the owner isn't good enough.
There are other factors in play.
Sometimes there's other things going on.
Like this T-shirt right here.
Like this
For you.
T-shirt.
Right here. This is the Office Pile T-shirt. This is made by a local artist that we have here in Phoenix. His name is Pablo Luna.
Oh.
And this T-shirt has got a little memento of the
Very
event and
nice.
of the interview, Mike.
Thank
and
you
I
very
appreciate it.
much.
And that's truly very informative. I appreciate it. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're out.